Alright, so this is a daily recap for the 5th of September, and I want to go through price action today just because I need to. Doing this would help my, like, so what I'm doing right now is I'm getting blocked by the amount of analysis I'm doing on the chart, and I'm struggling to find a clear direction because there's so many confluences that point to both directions, right? So I'll explain why and what those confluences are for today. So we are inside this daily fair value gap here, and onto the 4 hour we've got this fair value gap there, which ultimately is giving me a bullish direction higher. All right. So going on to the 1 hour, in fact, let's mark out this first. We've got the daily high, yesterday's daily high, and then we've got a fair value gap created yesterday as well. All right, so we sweep that high from yesterday, and we tap into this for daily fair value gap, and also we tap into this I think mitigation block. We'll just put miti there. Order block. It doesn't really matter, but we tap into that order block, tap into a daily, and we sweep yesterday's daily high. All right, and see, like, I'm saying these confluences like it's obvious, but obviously it's hindsight. It's things that I see in the future, but now is obvious to me now, but isn't obvious to me in the past, right? So go into the 1 hour, we sweep yesterday's high, as I said, go into this daily fair value gap, tap into this mitigation block, and we see lower prices from there. So at the start of the day, so I would be seeing from this 9:30, we also had PMI and NFP today, I think. Let me check. Yeah. So we had PMI and we had unemployment claims and NFP. So I was gonna be waiting for that NFP to finish, and it would have been good, right? So going through it, we've swept daily high. I've said it like hundreds of times, but I can't seem to weigh the confluences for bullish and bearish, because that's how I usually do it, right? So at 10 a.m. we sweep that high, right? And we've got 1 hour fair value gaps here. I'm going to delete this fair value gap there, the daily one, and we've got another fair value gap here that I believe both have been tapped into. Yeah, so we tap into both of them here, and we also respect it at 10 a.m. here. See, at the 15-minute, so this is the 15-minute fair value gap. Let's put that there now. We inverse it here. So from there I was like, okay, wait, we might be bullish, right? But going on to the 1 hour, you're seeing this fair value gap and this fair value gap. They can both, well, one of them can be disrespected and the other can be respected, right? So what I'm thinking here is I'm probably gonna wait for this 1 hour to close, right? And see if it closes if it inverses up higher here, we might see a move to the equilibrium of that range, from this high to this low, right? And this is the equilibrium. Yep. So we've got the equilibrium of this range, and yeah. So if it inverts this, I wanted to see it come up here and maybe come up to these 1 hour for value gaps, right? But as you can see, it didn't. I didn't take any trade today because of that. And then since it swept daily high, went to a daily fair value gap, and tapped into this mitigation, I was bearish, right? And we do have these new day opening gaps, but it's not that much of a significance right now. These probably would have been TPs, possible TPs that could have been there if I had taken the trade, right? So going on to the 15-minute, going to the 5-minute, we shift structure here. So we create a fair value gap, this place, and I was waiting for a breaker to form. I was looking for a breaker entry, so I wanted it to tap in from here, tap into this breaker. So that's the breaker. So I wanted it to tap into this breaker here, but it didn't, and we just flooded down. Couldn't get an entry. Even in this price action, it didn't really tap into any high probability confluences, and so I was like, I couldn't catch that, right? So I was a bit frustrated here, and yeah, and the same thing on this. We did have a 15-minute fair value gap here that could have been a TP if that breaker was to be touched back into. So this could have been a TP. And I was confident that, I don't know, I was expecting an inverse of some sort and then have a high and put my stop above that high. But it should be somewhere around that breaker. And then I was expecting for the 4-hour TPs to get taken, 4-hour equal lows to get taken out. But so far I haven't taken it out yet. But on ES we have, so I guess that's a good sign, right? For bullish biases, right? I was bullish and bearish today. I only switched my bearishness when it hit this mitigation block and was expecting price to come down, but I wanted the structure shift, which it did, but then it didn't. We tapped into this fair value gap here, but it wouldn't. I don't really care about it, to be honest. But yeah, I really wanted this breaker to get tapped into. That would have been perfect. Going to the 1 hour. Yeah, there's nothing to see there. I was gonna say for bullish bias, we respected the 4 hour again. If we were to be bearish, then I wanted, like at the open, I wanted this 4 hour to close below this fair value gap, but it didn't, so I was bullish. I couldn't get an entry here. Actually, I could have, but I didn't like it. It was a bit, I don't know. I didn't like it. So it hit equilibrium here, which is good, and then we inverse this fair value gap. Yeah, this candle, and that just would have been a horrible entry. It wouldn't have been a good RR. But yeah, that's basically the only bullish entry I could have seen so far. since these 1 hours had formed, I mean not formed, but since I saw these 1 hours and then wanted this to be respected, which it was, then it was bearish from there. I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed my scuffed analysis of the chart, but yeah, that was basically my view of today. Bye.